Oh, hey everybody, what's happening? Back to working on the Firebird again. It's Thursday. We actually have a sunny, halfway decent day. So today we're tackling the subframe bushings. So I got all the bushings on the back side from the firewall to under the seat. Those four are all loose. I got one of the radiator support bushings loose, or the bolt out. Now we're fighting with this other one, so we got it soaking here. So we're hoping we're going to be able to get it. But pretty much we're on our way. So how this is all going to work is how you do this is that you loosen all the bolts on one side, and then you take them out on the other side. And then what you do is you jack your body up with a piece of wood and a floor jack, enough to get the bushings in. I have all the bushings right here all laid out from front to back. So these are the radiator support. These are the ones that go on the firewall, and then these are the ones that go under the seat. So basically what we're going to do then, since we got all this stuff all these bolts all pulled out, and amazingly enough they did come out. Since we got this whole side done, we'll start with this side first. What we'll do is we'll put a piece of wood here on the rocker panel, and we'll jack this up just enough so that we can get these bushings out. So we'll get these bushings out, put the new ones in, and then we'll go up front and we'll pry up on the radiator support. Hopefully we can get the bushings in. I have a feeling we're probably going to have to take this bumper loose, which is no big deal. It's 4 bolts, but it's real tight against the fender down here. Obviously this one's squished, but it's real tight against the fender. So I'm kind of hoping we can maybe, what we're going to do is loosen them bolts up and then just pull this bumper back just enough so we can get some movement here on everything. Because the bumper is just against the fenders. It's not bolted to those fenders. It's just against them. So that's what we got going on right now. So that's the plan on how this is going to work. So we're going to see if this works. Hopefully it does. I'm sure it should. I've done these before. I did this once before on my 81Z28. So, but we're going to go ahead and get back to it and see what we can get accomplished here, and we'll get back to you. Alright, well, we're back. Had the welder out because we had to weld the frame up. Typical northern car. You probably can't even see. I can't even get the camera down there, but at any rate,
you can see it from underneath.
Yeah, I can show you underneath here.
What they should do if they want.
When we ended up pulling this front bushing out, you can see that the hole is actually bigger than it should be. And right here, I sprayed some black paint on it to keep it from rusting away. But right here, you can see where the hole is actually too big for the bushing to fit into. So what happens is your bushing just wallows around in there. So we run up to the hardware store real quick and we got ourselves a big washer. And this is the normal repair that you would do to this.
Yep.
So what we did is we laid the washer in there. Now since we don't have the car off the frame, we ended up doing it where we ended up spotting it right here. Tom ended up tacking it in. That thing ain't going anywhere. It's pretty much there.
Once the body is down on it.
Yeah, all that weight is going to hold it.
You don't need to weld it in there solid.
So usually what you do is when you have the body off the frame, and I've done it before on other Camaros, is what you do is you take these big washers like this and you just take them and you lay them down on top of where your frame and your bushing pot, your hole is at, and usually you can weld them around there.
Yep.
But we ended up just tacking them on the bottom, so it should hold it. Once we torque everything, it should be good.
Yeah, it'll stay there.
So we're probably going to have to do the other side, I'm sure. The backs are good actually. Well, this side is. Not sure about the other side. We didn't get that jacked up and get that pulled out yet. So right now this is where we stand. We got the back bushing in. We're gonna stick this front one in and let the car down. We're gonna end up having to do something here with the front fender, or the front bumper, or we'll just come back out later and mess with this front radiator support, because we just can't seem to get this out. So, and we can't get in there anything to pry on it or jack on. So I think what we're gonna have to do is loosen this bumper up and then try jacking it again and see if it's gonna come out that way. So, but that's it. My battery's going dead. We have more. I'll get back to you. Well, hey everybody, back working on the Firebird. This is the next day, and we got one side finally done. What a pain in the ass. So here's the rundown. We got all the bushings in. We had to weld that washer into one. Back one's okay. Problem was we couldn't get the radiator support bushing in. So, as you can see, we have a new bushing in. What we had to do is loosen this goofy ass front end on this dumb car. So we had to take the pan off. There's a pan that goes underneath it that's laying out there in the driveway. We had to take that off so we could get. We thought maybe if we got under there and jacked up the radiator support, we could take it apart, but that didn't work. So what we ended up doing is we ended up pulling the bolts on the bumper. And we loosened that side, pulled the bolts on this side. Yeah, it doesn't look like it, but there's only 4 bolts that hold this stupid thing on. And it moves, sorta. But that's what you got to do to get it to separate. So now that we have this side done, we're going to move on to the other side. Alright, well, we're back with you here. We got everything apart. This side's apart. We're going to have to do the same thing we did on the other side. We're going to have to weld a washer in to the front section of, let me get these stupid goggles on. We're going to weld in to the front section on the where it goes to the firewall, because it's the hole's ate up. Now the back hole's fine. It's the same way on the other side. The back hole's fine. Front holes are fine. So we got the washer over here. So what we're going to do is going to take this one washer and the bushing. I got these at the hardware store, and they're the perfect size to fit on the bracket, because we just set it on top and then we just tack it underneath because we can't get to the top of it. But what we're going to do here is we're going to take it and we're going to open this up here with a carbide bit. So what we do is just open this up to the size of the bushing so it'll drop down in and it's tight. We lay this on top of the mount. Tom tacks it on the bottom after he cleans it up, and we get into some strong metal, and then we're good to go. Basically, we just use this as a spacer piece there to go in there. And I've done that before on Camaros. That's a fix for them. Now they got more modern crap, but years ago that's how you did it. You'd get some washers and you just get in there and set it down on top of the freaking subframe, and you just weld it in there. Now another way to do it is to get a smaller washer like this, and I've seen guys do it this way. Get a smaller washer like this and you lay it on the subframe, and then if the hole's smaller, you just take a hole saw and you run a hole saw down through it. That's alright if the car's all blown apart and sitting in a million pieces in your freaking garage, but yeah, as you can see, we ain't got that option. So this is how we're going to do it. I'm sure people have different opinions on how this is done. They might not agree with how we're doing this, but it's not going to come apart. No. You know, and we get some.
Put the weight of the car on it.
Yeah, you get the weight of the car on it. Plus, you could put some good penetration in on those bottom welds down there, and you're fine. Should be good to go. We just can't get in there because you got fender and fender well in the way, or else we would tack it at the top. But tacking it at the bottom is just, that works just as well.
Make sure you got the proper welder to do
Yeah.
it.
Don't
get the right penetration out of it.
Yeah, because you got to have something. Because this is like an 1/8 inch.
Flux core welder won't do it.
Yeah, flux core is no. You need a gas. Plus, you want to get a washer that's probably going to be as thick as what the metal you're going to be putting it to. That frame rail is about 1/8 inch, along with these washers.
Yeah.
So you want to be able to do that so you have the strength. So, all right. Tom's going to clean that up down there. I'm going to wallow this hole out. And that's all we got to do. Basically, we just got to get that washer in there, put the bushing in, or he has to weld it up. We put the bushings in, put the bolts in, torque everything, and this thing's pretty much done except for the bumpers being loose. And we're probably going to leave it loose for right now because we want to make some adjustments on the bumper and get things a little bit more aligned. This thing hit the ditch or wherever the hell it hit. It threw the whole bumper to one side. And if you could see it, it's just a hair misaligned in here, so we need to move it over. So we're kind of hoping maybe we can get this thing to shove over this way some, but we'll see. But for right now, we're going to get this bushing set up. And like I said, I just stick it in a vise, and then I got some carbide bits here I'm going to use. And I might start with this single cut one, because it's a nice square, short, it's not tapered. And we just go around the inside like this. And we just take it out and check it and just keep doing it until it fits the size of the bushing. And that's all we do. So, we're going to get at it. And we'll come back to you. Here we are, we're back. And that's how we're doing the washer. Got it welded in there. And then we just take the old bushing. And hopefully, with any luck, Jesus, seriously. In there, P? Yep, fits good. So we're gonna throw some paint on here, and we're gonna throw some paint on, throw some bolts in, drop it down, and we're going to start torquing her up. Get it put back together. Everything else is done. Got the back one in, got the front one in, got the radiator support in. So, and this job will be done. So, we're going to go ahead and... Oh, it should be sitting over there by the box. I'll get it. So we'll go ahead and get back to you once we get something done here. Again, like usual. So, be back with you in a minute. We're all done. Bushings are all in. Torqued. Everything's done. Looks pretty good. Door still closes. That's a plus. Nothing's hitting. So, I think we did good. So, I didn't take it for a drive yet, so I don't know how that's going to work. I'm not sure if I'm even going to. I think we just might move on to the next phase of this project. And that is the suspension. Yeah. Because our lower control arm, our upper control arm bushings are, as you can see, right there is falling apart. So they're just dried out from age and setting and everything else. They kind of look like our, what's left of our subframe bushings. So everything's done, tightened up. You don't know how much you can see. Time to put the light away. We're gonna go get dinner because we're hungry and we're tired. Oh, it's right there. So there's the rear one. It's all crushed in there. Looks pretty. Our front one on one side looks all pretty. So there's actually quite a bit of gap between the floor and the cross members, or the frame rails now. So we're not quite sure what other problems make this way across us. But hopefully it put everything back in line. I mean, if anything, we might have to readjust the clutch. I don't know. But we'll worry about that later.
Yeah, we won't know until
Yeah.
back it out.
Until we back it out and drive
We'll
it.
go down the block and see.
Yeah. But I think our next step here is, since we're probably take a day or two off mess around with something else. And I think we're just going to start pulling these control arms out and get these bushings in. Everything else on the front end seems good, solid. We can't find anything wrong with it. How about it, Tom? Can't find any problems with it.
Any other problems?
With,
For lower control.
yeah, just the lower, upper and lower control arm bushings are junk. Well, I mean, we're going to check everything out again. So,
And shocks.
yeah, we're going to do that in shocks the whole way around.
Do the shocks.
So, then there's a couple other things I want to do, but this will finish up basically the mechanical things,
And we're gonna
except for the clutch.
drill and tap that. for the plug.
Yeah, we got to drill and tap the side of the, where there's a drain plug boss on the side of the case on the Muncie. I'll show you on this trash case. We got it here. And if you look, here's the boss right there. And you can drill and tap that for a 1/2-inch national pipe thread. And we got to drill. Just gonna leave the fluid in and let the fluid rinse it out while it's draining. So that's the plan there. It's the big picture. I don't know if you guys could. I don't know if there's really much of a difference on how it sits, but it sits about the same. I think the door gap. I think the door misalignment there might be a little bit better between the door and the fender, but I don't know. So get the rest of it done. We'll take it out and see how it feels. I'm sure it's going to be a massive improvement over anything. I mean, it was pretty good before, but I'm thinking it could be. This will probably be way better, especially in the front end, because the front end wasn't loose, but you could tell the bushings are junk.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know if we could even tell the subframes were bad or not, but I'm sure it's going to tighten it up and it's probably going to handle way, way better. All right, so that's it for this video. Till the next one where we start the front end. And hopefully that'll be either Sunday or Monday or something. So, all right. See you guys later.